Let me ask you something. How many times have you talked yourself out of a blessing? How many times have you doubted your own success before it even had a chance to happen? See, most people don't realize this, but your words are either building your future or destroying it. Every complaint, every excuse, every doubt you speak into existence is like slamming the door on your own transformation. But here's the truth. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life don't come from what you say, they come from what you don't say. Because when you learn to be quiet, when you learn to stop justifying yourself to people who don't matter, when you learn to stop reacting to every challenge and start trusting the process, that's when God steps in. That's when things start shifting in your favor. So today I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to push you out of your comfort zone. And if you're ready, really ready to step into the life you've been praying for, then it's time to shut your mouth, open your mind, and let transformation take over. Let's go. Silence is not emptiness. It is power in its purest form. It is the space where clarity is born, where wisdom is cultivated, and where transformation begins. When you learn to embrace silence, you tap into a force far greater than words. You begin to understand that not every battle is meant to be fought with your mouth, and not every situation requires your opinion. Most people are addicted to noise. They fill every moment with talking, reacting, complaining, and explaining. They believe that if they're not speaking, they're not in control. But the truth is, silence is often the greatest form of control. It keeps you from wasting energy on things that don't serve you. It allows you to observe, to process, and to respond rather than react. Think about the most powerful people in any room. They are not the ones who talk the loudest or dominate every conversation. They are the ones who listen. They are the ones who wait. They are the ones who understand that words once spoken cannot be taken back. They do not give away their thoughts cheaply. They do not reveal their plans prematurely. They know that silence creates mystery, and mystery creates power. Silence protects you from self-sabotage. How many times have you said something in anger, frustration, or fear that you later regretted? How many times have you spoken too soon and ruined an opportunity that was meant for you? How many times have you shared your dreams with the wrong people only for them to plant seeds of doubt in your mind? Every unnecessary word spoken is a potential obstacle in your path. The less you say, the more control you have over your own destiny. When you practice silence, you begin to hear what truly matters. You hear the whispers of intuition. You hear the voice of God guiding you in ways that endless talking never could. You recognize the energy of a room, the motives of people, and the truth hidden beneath the surface. Silence makes you a better strategist, a better decision maker, and a better leader. It allows you to stand firm while others stumble over their own words. It gives you the patience to wait for the right moment instead of forcing the wrong one. Silence is not weakness, it is restraint. It is the ability to hold back when the world expects you to react. It is the power to let your actions speak louder than your words. It is the discipline to walk away from battles that do not deserve your attention. It is the strength to observe, to plan, and to execute with precision. Those who understand the power of silence do not waste time explaining themselves to those who will never understand. They do not seek validation from people who are not on their level. They do not give their energy to distractions disguised as opportunities. There is a reason why the most successful people are often the quietest in the room. They are not concerned with proving themselves through words. They prove themselves through results. They do not waste time arguing over things that do not matter. They focus on actions that do. They do not let their emotions dictate their speech. They use silence to channel their energy into their vision. When you learn to embrace silence, you gain an advantage over those who cannot. You become unshakable in a world full of noise. You develop the ability to see things others miss. You begin to move differently, think differently, and live differently. The world moves fast, and most people rush through life without ever truly seeing or hearing what's happening around them. They react instead of observing, they speak instead of listening, and in doing so, they miss out on the lessons, the opportunities, and the transformations that are constantly unfolding before them. Watching and listening are not passive acts. They are disciplines, skills that separate the wise from the reckless, the successful from the stagnant. When you truly watch, you begin to notice details that others overlook. You see patterns in human behavior. You recognize when someone's words don't match their actions. You start to understand who is genuinely for you and who is only pretending to be. You see the opportunities that most people miss because they're too busy talking, too busy proving, too busy focusing on the wrong things. Watching is about sharpening your awareness, training your mind to pick up on the subtleties, the energy shifts, the unspoken truths. Listening, on the other hand, is an art. Most people don't listen to understand, they listen to reply. They are already formulating their next argument, their next defense, their next explanation before the other person has even finished speaking. But when you truly listen, when you silence your own thoughts and focus on what is being said, not just the words, but the tone, the pauses, the emotion behind them, you gain insight that others never will. You empower others. You begin to hear the real fears, the real desires, the real struggles hidden beneath the surface. You start to recognize opportunities where others only see obstacles. You begin to understand the deeper layers of people, of situations, of life itself. Watching and listening put you in a position of power. They allow you to gather information before making a move. They give you the ability to predict outcomes based on what's happening around you. They keep you from making impulsive decisions, from saying things you'll regret, from falling into traps set by those who don't have your best interests at heart. The ability to watch and listen turns you into a strategist, someone who moves with intention rather than reaction. When you watch, you see how people operate. You see how they treat others when they think no one is looking. You notice the habits of the successful and the patterns of those who remain stuck. You witness how certain decisions lead to specific results. You begin to understand the rhythm of life, the way things unfold, the way success follows preparation, the way failure follows repeated mistakes. You gain an awareness that most people never develop because they're too caught up in their own thoughts, their own opinions, their own need to be heard. When you listen, you gain an edge. You hear the gaps in people's arguments. You hear the fears hidden in their bravado. You recognize the wisdom in unexpected places. You start to understand what drives people, what holds them back, what they need, and what they avoid. Listening teaches you patience, and patience gives you control. It allows you to respond rather than react. It teaches you when to speak and when to stay silent. It keeps you from unnecessary conflict and aligns you with the right opportunities. Most people will never master the ability to watch and listen because they are too eager to be seen and heard. They fear silence. They fear stillness. They mistake noise for progress and constant talking for intelligence. But those who understand the power of observation and deep listening move differently. They don't waste words. They don't reveal their plans prematurely. They don't let their emotions control their actions. They gather knowledge. They study the game. They learn from the mistakes of others without having to make them themselves. To watch and listen is to sharpen your instincts, to train yourself to see beyond the surface, to hear beyond the noise. It is to move with intention rather than impulse, to act with wisdom rather than emotion, to position yourself for success in ways that others cannot see. It is to understand that power is not always in the speaking but in the knowing, not always in the reacting but in the waiting. It is the difference between those who struggle through life blindly and those who navigate it with precision and purpose. Emotions are powerful. They can drive you to achieve greatness, or they can chain you to your worst habits. They can be the fuel that pushes you forward, or they can be the anchor that drags you down. Most people do not control their emotions. Their emotions control them. They wake up feeling a certain way, and that feeling dictates their entire day. If something upsets them, they lash out. If something disappoints them, they shut down. If something challenges them, they quit. They allow their emotions to be the master, and in doing so, they surrender their power. Mastering your emotions does not mean suppressing them. It does not mean pretending that you don't feel anger, fear, sadness, or frustration. It means understanding them. It means recognizing when an emotion is serving you and when it is sabotaging you. It means stepping back before reacting, taking a breath before speaking, and making decisions based on wisdom rather than impulse. It is the ability to stand in the storm and remain unshaken, to face adversity without crumbling, to hear criticism without breaking, and to feel fear without letting it stop you. People who cannot control their emotions are easily manipulated. They can be provoked into arguments, distracted from their goals, and discouraged from their dreams simply because someone or something triggered them. They waste energy on things that do not matter. They spend their time fighting battles that do not serve them. They react to every insult, every setback, every challenge as if it is the end of the world. And in doing so, they lose focus, they lose momentum, and they lose control over their own destiny. When you master your emotions, you master yourself. You become the type of person who does not flinch under pressure, who does not break under stress, who does not crumble when things don't go as planned. You become unshakable. You learn to acknowledge your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. You feel the fear, but you move forward anyway. You feel the anger, but you channel it into something productive. You feel the frustration, but you use it as motivation instead of an excuse. Think about the greatest leaders, the most successful individuals, the people who rise above the chaos of life and achieve what others only dream of. They are not the ones who lose their temper at every inconvenience. They are not the ones who break down at the first sign of failure. They are not the ones who allow emotions to dictate their every move. They are the ones who remain calm when others panic. They are the ones who stay focused when others get distracted. They are the ones who take control of their emotions instead of letting their emotions take control of them. Emotional mastery is a skill. It is built through discipline, through self-awareness, through constant practice. It is recognizing when your emotions are clouding your judgment. It is learning to pause before you react. It is developing the ability to stay composed even when everything around you is chaotic. It is choosing to respond with intention instead of reacting with impulse. It is training yourself to remain steady no matter the storm. Most people do not take the time to understand their emotions. They do not recognize the patterns that control them. They repeat the same mistakes, fall into the same traps, and react in the same destructive ways over and over again. They let their emotions drive them into unnecessary conflict, into wasted energy, into bad decisions that they later regret. They allow their temporary feelings to create permanent problems. They do not understand that emotions are fleeting, but the consequences of emotional reactions can last a lifetime. To master your emotions is to master your future. It is the ability to move through life with clarity, with strength, with unwavering focus. It is the discipline to choose patience over anger, wisdom over impulse, strategy over reaction. It is the ability to face difficulty without losing yourself, to handle criticism without taking it personally, to stay committed to your vision even when your emotions try to pull you away. It is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. It is the foundation of resilience, of mental toughness, of true power. Words are not just sounds that leave your mouth. They are forces of creation or destruction. They build empires or tear them down. They start wars and end them. They lift people up or break them apart. Words are sharper than any blade, stronger than any fist, and more permanent than any action. Every word you speak carries weight, whether you realize it or not. You are either using your words as a weapon against yourself and others, or you are using them as a tool of wisdom, growth, and transformation. Most people do not understand the power of their words. They speak without thinking, reacting to situations with raw emotion instead of measured wisdom. They complain about their circumstances, not realizing that every complaint reinforces their struggle. They speak doubt into their own lives, saying things like, I can't, it's impossible, I'll never make it, and then wonder why they remain stuck. They curse their own future, telling themselves they are not good enough, smart enough, strong enough, and then live out the very reality they have spoken into existence. But those who understand the power of words use them differently. They choose their words carefully, knowing that what they speak today will shape their tomorrow. They do not waste breath on gossip, negativity, or doubt. They do not use their words to tear others down or to justify their own excuses. They use their words to uplift, to inspire, to declare victory, even in the face of adversity. They speak what they want to manifest, not what they fear. They understand that every time they open their mouth, they are either planting seeds of success or laying bricks for their own destruction. Words can be weapons, and many people use them as such, often without even realizing it. They attack others with criticism, sarcasm, and judgment. They cut people down with insults disguised as jokes. They spread negativity, sow doubt, and destroy relationships with careless words that cannot be taken back. Words can leave wounds that last a lifetime. A single sentence can shatter confidence, break trust, or ruin opportunities. Wars have been started over words. Families have been broken apart because of words. People have given up on themselves because of words spoken over them. The damage of a single phrase can last far longer than the moment in which it was spoken, but words can also be wisdom. They can heal what was broken, mend what was torn apart, and lift someone from darkness into light. The right words at the right moment can change the course of a life. A word of encouragement can give someone the strength to keep going. A word of truth can bring clarity where there was once confusion. A word of faith can reignite hope where there was despair. Words of wisdom have built nations, inspired movements, and transformed generations. The difference between those who use words as weapons and those who use them as wisdom is awareness. It is the ability to pause before speaking, to consider the impact of what is about to be said. It is the discipline to choose words that build rather than destroy. It is the understanding that words are not just expressions of thought, but tools that shape reality. Those who are careless with their words waste their power. They speak without intention, without clarity, without purpose. And in doing so, they weaken themselves and those around them. But those who master their words master their lives. They do not allow emotions to dictate their speech. They do not waste time on meaningless chatter. They do not engage in gossip, slander, or petty arguments. They use their words with precision, understanding that every sentence has the potential to move them closer to or further from their goals. They speak with confidence, with purpose, with wisdom. They understand that silence is often more powerful than speech, and when they do speak, their words carry weight because they are rooted in truth, in knowledge, in intentionality. Most people speak without listening, argue without understanding, and react without thinking. They use words recklessly, unaware of the damage they cause, unaware of the opportunities they miss, unaware of the power they are squandering. They live in chaos because their words are chaotic. They struggle because their words reflect struggle. They remain in negativity because their words reinforce negativity. But those who understand the transformative power of words use them to construct a reality of purpose, strength, and success. Every conversation is an opportunity to choose between wisdom and destruction. Every sentence is a choice between building something meaningful or tearing something down. Every word spoken is either a step toward growth or a step toward regret. Those who understand this do not speak just to fill the silence. They do not waste their breath on things that do not matter. They use their words as a tool, as a bridge, as a force of creation. They use them to shape their future, to influence those around them, to inspire action and ignite change. Words determine the quality of relationships, the strength of businesses, the success of leaders, the legacy of individuals. Those who speak without thought live without direction. Those who speak with wisdom build foundations that last. Every great leader, every powerful figure, every person who has left a mark on this world has understood this truth. Words are not just communication, they are creation. They are either a force of wisdom or a weapon of destruction, and the choice between the two is made with every breath spoken. Life will test you. It will throw obstacles in your path, challenge your patience, and push you to the edge of your limits. Plans will fall apart, people will let you down, opportunities will slip through your fingers, you will face setbacks, delays, and moments where nothing seems to be going right. And in those moments, you have a choice, faith or frustration. Frustration is the natural response. It's easy, it's familiar. It's what happens when things don't go according to plan, when life feels unfair, when you put in the work and don't see the results. Frustration is the voice in your head telling you, why bother? It's the feeling that makes you want to give up, to complain, to question everything. It's the emotional reaction that says, this isn't working, this isn't fair, this isn't worth it. But frustration does not serve you. It does not fix the problem, does not move you forward, does not create solutions. It only drains you. It only clouds your vision. It only keeps you stuck. Faith, on the other hand, is not easy. It's not automatic. It's a choice. It's choosing to believe in something greater than your current struggle. It's choosing to trust the process even when you can't see the progress. It's choosing to move forward even when every part of you wants to quit. Faith is understanding that just because you don't see the results right now doesn't mean they aren't happening. It's knowing that the delay is not the denial, that the setback is not the end, that the obstacle is not the final outcome. Most people live their lives controlled by frustration. They allow it to dictate their mood, their decisions, their actions. They get frustrated when things don't happen fast enough. They get frustrated when people don't act the way they expect. They get frustrated when challenges arise, when they hit roadblocks, when they face resistance. And every time they let frustration take over, they lose faith. They lose sight of the bigger picture. They let emotions lead them instead of wisdom. They become reactive instead of proactive. Faith is what separates those who keep going from those who give up. It's what allows you to push through the hard days, to endure the waiting periods, to trust that everything is working in your favor even when it doesn't feel like it. Faith is not just believing in something greater, it's acting like you believe it. It's continuing to work, to show up, to give your best even when you don't feel like it. It's choosing to move forward despite frustration, despite disappointment, despite uncertainty. It's refusing to let circumstances dictate your belief in what's possible. Faith means shifting your perspective. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Faith asks, what is this teaching me? Instead of saying, this is unfair, faith says, this is preparing me. Instead of focusing on what's going wrong, faith looks for what's still possible. Instead of being controlled by emotions, faith chooses to be led by purpose. It understands that frustration is temporary, but perseverance leads to transformation. Frustration tells you to stop. Faith tells you to trust. Frustration makes you feel like you're losing. Faith reminds you that you are still in the game. Frustration focuses on what's missing. Faith focuses on what's coming. The reason most people never reach their full potential is that they allow frustration to dictate their decisions instead of faith. They quit too soon. They walk away too early. They give up before they see the breakthrough. They let emotions override purpose. Faith over frustration is about discipline. It's about training yourself to respond differently. It's about recognizing when frustration is creeping in and making the conscious decision to not let it control you. It's about shifting your mindset, choosing patience over panic, belief over bitterness, endurance over excuses. It's about seeing the bigger picture, even when the details are blurry. It's about trusting the process, even when the process is uncomfortable. Frustration makes you anxious, restless, impulsive. It makes you rush decisions, settle for less, take shortcuts that lead nowhere. It makes you react instead of reflect, lash out instead of listen, panic instead of plan. It makes you forget why you started, what you're working toward, what you're capable of. It makes you doubt yourself, your journey, your purpose. It keeps you in a cycle of negativity, repeating the same patterns, feeling stuck in the same struggles, seeing the same disappointments. Faith breaks that cycle. Faith says, I may not see it yet, but I know it's coming. Faith says, I may not understand this struggle, but I trust that it's preparing me. Faith says, this delay is teaching me patience. This challenge is strengthening me. This obstacle is refining me. Faith is what keeps you grounded when life shakes you. It's what keeps you moving when everything tells you to stop. It's what keeps you believing in yourself, your purpose, and your future, even when the circumstances try to convince you otherwise. Faith is not passive. It's not just hoping things will work out. It's acting in alignment with that belief. It's doing the work, showing up every day, staying committed to your vision, even when you don't see immediate results. It's knowing that frustration is a trap, but faith is the path forward. It's understanding that your breakthrough doesn't come when everything is easy. It comes when you refuse to quit despite the difficulty. It comes when you choose faith over frustration, when you refuse to let temporary obstacles block your permanent success, when you trust the journey even when the road isn't clear. The people who achieve the most, who rise above challenges, who create real impact, are not the ones who never face frustration. They are the ones who refuse to let frustration stop them. They are the ones who lean into faith, who stay the course, who keep believing, who keep going. They understand that frustration is a distraction, but faith is a strategy. They choose to focus not on what's going wrong, but on what's still possible. They move with purpose, with patience, with belief, knowing that everything they are working for is already in motion, already on its way, already aligning in their favor. Negativity is everywhere. It's in the news, in conversations, in the thoughts of the people around you. It's in the doubts you hear, the fears you feel, the voices telling you what can't be done. It's loud, persistent, and relentless. It drowns out dreams, suffocates confidence, and convinces people to settle for less than they are capable of. It thrives on fear, on insecurity, on the belief that things will never change. And the worst part, most people don't even realize how much it controls them. Negativity is not just something you hear, it's something you absorb. It's the background noise of a world that has been conditioned to focus on problems instead of solutions. It's the whispers of self-doubt that creep in when you're about to take a risk. It's the opinions of people who have never done what you're trying to do yet feel qualified to tell you why you can't. It's the fear disguised as logic, the criticism masquerading as advice, the doubt disguised as realism. It's in the endless cycle of bad news, the complaints of coworkers, the gossip of friends, the limiting beliefs of family. It's the constant drumbeat of reasons why things won't work, why success is out of reach, why playing it safe is the only option. Most people are unaware of how much negativity they consume daily. They don't realize how much it affects their thoughts, their actions, their mindsets. They allow negativity to shape their reality, to dictate their mood, to control their decisions. They wake up and check the news, filling their minds with stories of disaster, division, and despair. They scroll through social media, comparing their lives to curated versions of others, feeling inadequate before their day has even started. They engage in conversations that revolve around problems rather than solutions, reinforcing a mindset of lack instead of possibility. They listen to the doubts of those around them, internalizing fears that were never theirs to begin with. Negativity is addictive. It spreads easily, thrives on attention, and gains strength the more it is fed. One negative thought leads to another. One complaint turns into a pattern. One doubt becomes a belief. Before long, negativity is no longer just external noise. It becomes internal dialogue. It becomes the voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, smart enough, strong enough. It becomes the reason you hesitate, the excuse you use, the justification for staying where you are instead of moving forward. It becomes the barrier between you and everything you are capable of achieving. The most dangerous thing about negativity is that it disguises itself as truth. It convinces you that the way things are is the way they will always be. It makes you believe that obstacles are permanent, that failure defines you, that your past determines your future. It tricks you into thinking that playing small is the smart choice, that taking risks is reckless, that believing in yourself is foolish. It creates a prison of doubt and fear, and most people spend their lives trapped in it, never realizing that the door was open the entire time. Negativity is loud, but it is not powerful unless you give it power. It is everywhere, but it only controls you if you allow it to. The truth is, negativity is just noise, background static in a world full of possibilities. The problem is not that negativity exists. The problem is that most people listen to it. They let it drown out their own intuition, their own ambitions, their own potential. They give more attention to the voices telling them why they can't than to the voice inside them telling them why they can. They let fear be louder than faith, doubt be stronger than determination, hesitation be greater than action. Escaping the noise of negativity is not about pretending it doesn't exist. It's about choosing what you focus on. It's about becoming intentional with what you allow into your mind, what conversations you engage in, what thoughts you entertain. It's about realizing that you do not have to accept every opinion, absorb every doubt, or internalize every fear. It's about training yourself to question negativity instead of automatically believing it. When someone tells you that something can't be done, ask yourself if that's their belief or reality. When you catch yourself thinking of worst case scenarios, remind yourself that best case scenarios are just as possible. When negativity tries to take over, counter it with action, with evidence, with a refusal to let fear dictate your choices. The most successful, fulfilled, and resilient people in the world are not the ones who never encounter negativity. They are the ones who refuse to be controlled by it. They are the ones who protect their energy, who guard their minds, who surround themselves with possibility instead of limitation. They are the ones who do not waste time arguing with doubters, who do not let the opinions of the fearful dictate their future. They are the ones who understand that negativity is just noise, and they choose not to listen. Negativity will always exist. There will always be reasons to doubt, reasons to fear, reasons to hesitate. There will always be people who see the worst in every situation, who focus on problems instead of solutions, who live in a mindset of scarcity instead of abundance. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is not the presence or absence of negativity. It's the decision to rise above it. It's the ability to turn down the volume, to filter out the distractions, to replace fear with faith, doubt with confidence, hesitation with action. Most people let negativity shape their reality, but those who understand its nature take control of their own. They do not let external fears become internal limitations. They do not allow negative people to drain their energy. They do not let temporary setbacks create permanent doubt. They take ownership of their mindset, of their focus, of their perspective. They choose to surround themselves with solutions, with inspiration, with people who elevate them instead of pull them down. They understand that negativity is everywhere, but they also understand that they have the power to decide what influences them, what they believe, what they act on. Negativity is designed to keep you small, to keep you afraid, to keep you from stepping into your full potential. It thrives on inaction, on hesitation, on surrender. It gains power when you listen to it, but it loses all influence when you stop giving it your attention. It is nothing more than background noise in a world filled with opportunity, and the moment you decide to tune it out, you take back control of your thoughts, your actions, and your future. Words are easy. Promises are cheap. Talk is effortless. Everyone can say what they're going to do. Everyone can claim they're working towards something, striving for something, becoming something. But in the end, words without action are just noise. They mean nothing. They change nothing. They move nothing forward. What separates those who dream from those who achieve, those who wish from those who win, those who plan from those who execute, is action. The world is full of people who talk big but do small. They say they want success, but they won't put in the work. They claim they're serious, but their actions are inconsistent. They set goals, but they don't back them up with discipline. They get excited about the vision, but they never follow through on the execution. And then they wonder why nothing changes. They wonder why they're stuck in the same place, facing the same problems, living the same cycle year after year. It's not because they don't have potential. It's not because they aren't capable. It's because they rely too much on words and not enough on action. Action is the ultimate truth. It's the proof of belief. It's the evidence of commitment. It's the only thing that truly moves the needle forward. You can tell people what you're going to do, or you can show them. You can talk about your goals, or you can take the steps to achieve them. You can wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect conditions, or you can start now, imperfectly, but decisively. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you say that will define your life, it's what you do. Most people overthink and underact, they hesitate, they analyze, they wait for clarity, and in that waiting, they lose momentum. They get caught up in planning and strategizing, in gathering more information, in seeking validation. They tell themselves they're preparing, but in reality, they're procrastinating. They mistake movement for progress, thinking that just because they're busy talking about their dreams, they're actually moving toward them. But motion without action is a trap. It gives the illusion of productivity while keeping you stuck in the same place. The people who succeed are the ones who let their actions speak. They don't waste time trying to convince others of their potential, they prove it. They don't announce their every move. They make their moves in silence and let the results speak for themselves. They don't get caught up in debates, in opinions, in defending their choices. They don't need to explain their vision because they are too busy building it. They don't wait for approval, for permission, for encouragement. They take action because they understand that movement creates momentum, that consistency compounds, that results come from doing, not from discussing. Action is the cure to fear, the cure to doubt, the cure to overthinking. Most people let fear paralyze them because they wait until they feel ready. But readiness is a myth. Confidence comes from action, not before it. Clarity comes from movement, not from sitting and thinking. The people who achieve the most are not the ones who had everything figured out from the beginning. They are the ones who started before they were ready and figured it out along the way. They understand that hesitation kills progress, that perfectionism is just fear in disguise, that waiting for certainty is the fastest way to stay stuck. The world does not need more talkers, it needs more doers. More people who execute, more people who take risks, who step forward, who stop explaining and start building. The ones who leave a mark, who create impact, who change their own lives and the lives of others, are not the ones who had the best speeches. They were the ones who had the strongest discipline, the most relentless work ethic, the willingness to act when others hesitated, the ability to push forward when others made excuses. Most people say they want something, but their actions tell a different story. They say they want to be successful, but they waste time on distractions. They say they want to be healthy, but they don't commit to the habits that support that goal. They say they want financial freedom, but they keep making the same impulsive decisions. They say they want to grow, but they stay in their comfort zone. Your actions will always reveal the truth. Not your words, not your intentions, not your plans, your actions. When you let your actions speak louder than your words, everything changes. People stop questioning your abilities because your results answer for you. You stop needing external validation because your progress becomes your proof. You stop doubting yourself because every action builds confidence. You stop waiting for motivation because discipline replaces it. You stop wondering if you're on the right path because every step forward creates clarity. Success is built in the moments where most people hesitate. It's built in the decision to work when others make excuses. In the commitment to keep going when others get discouraged. The greatest advantage you can have is not talent, not resources, not connections. It's the ability to take action when others pause. It's the mindset that refuses to wait, that refuses to talk more than it works, that refuses to let words replace execution. Most people will spend their lives talking about what they could do, what they should do, what they might do, but the ones who actually do it, the ones who take action, the ones who don't just dream but do, those are the ones who build, who achieve, who win. Because in the end, words fade, but actions last. Plans change, but results remain. Talk is temporary, but the impact of action is permanent. Patience and purpose, two forces that when aligned create an unstoppable path to transformation. Yet in today's world, patience is almost seen as weakness. Everything is about speed, instant gratification, quick results, and overnight success. People want the rewards without the process, the breakthrough without the struggle, the transformation without the time it takes to build it. They want purpose, but they don't want to wait for it to unfold. They want growth, but they don't want the discipline that comes with it. They want everything now, and if it doesn't happen fast enough, they start doubting, they start questioning, they start looking for shortcuts. But the truth is, nothing great, nothing lasting, nothing truly transformational happens without patience. Patience is not about passively waiting. It's about trusting the process even when you can't see the results yet. It's about understanding that purpose unfolds in layers, that growth happens in seasons, that progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. The strongest people, the most successful people, the ones who truly transform their lives are not the ones who rush, who force, who chase after quick results. They are the ones who understand the power of delayed gratification, the ability to put in the work today knowing the reward comes later, the ability to stay focused when there are no immediate signs of success, the ability to keep showing up when nothing seems to be happening yet. Most people struggle because they mistake patience for inaction. They think that if they don't see results immediately, it means nothing is working. They think that just because their circumstances haven't changed yet, their effort is wasted. But patience is about faith in the unseen, trust in the process, confidence in the timing of things bigger than yourself. It's about knowing that just because you can't see the results yet doesn't mean they're not coming. It's about planting seeds and understanding that growth happens underground long before you ever see the first sprout. Purpose, on the other hand, is what gives patience its power. Purpose is what makes the waiting worthwhile. It's what keeps you moving when most people would quit. It's what gives meaning to the struggle, clarity to the confusion, and direction to the chaos. People who lack purpose struggle with patience because they don't know what they're waiting for or why they're working for it. Without purpose, patience feels like suffering. It feels like stagnation. It feels like wasted time. But when you have a vision, when you have a reason, when you have something greater than yourself that you are working toward, patience is no longer painful, it's powerful. Purpose is not something you find overnight. It's something you become. It's something you grow into. It's something that reveals itself in the process of movement, in the journey of persistence, in the commitment to something greater than yourself. Most people wait for purpose to be handed to them. They wait for clarity before they take action. They wait for certainty before they commit. But purpose does not come from waiting. It comes from doing. It comes from showing up, from taking steps forward, from pursuing what sets your soul on fire even when you don't have all the answers yet. The problem is that most people quit before their purpose is revealed. They get impatient, they get frustrated, they let doubt take over, they stop watering their dreams because they don't see results fast enough. They let temporary discomfort destroy the possibility of long-term transformation. They want purpose, but they don't want the process that comes with it. They want fulfillment, but they don't want to endure the waiting, the struggle, the uncertainty that is required to truly earn it. Patience is about trusting divine timing. It's about knowing that everything is working in your favor, even when it doesn't look like it. It's about understanding that delays are not denials, that setbacks are setups, that obstacles are opportunities. It's about believing that the things meant for you are already on their way to you, but you must be ready to receive them. And readiness doesn't come from rushing. It comes from preparation, discipline, faith, and consistency. Most people never reach their full potential because they let impatience rob them of their destiny. They quit too soon. They stop too early. They give up right before the breakthrough. They don't realize that the things they are praying for, hoping for, working for are already coming toward them, but they must be patient enough to stay the course. Patience is the difference between those who talk about success and those who achieve it. It's the difference between those who dream and those who do. It's the difference between those who watch life happen and those who create their own reality. It's the ability to persist when nothing seems to be happening, to keep showing up when no one is clapping, to continue building when there is no immediate validation. It's the strength to trust the process, to believe in what you are creating, to understand that greatness takes time. Every overnight success you see is built on years of patience. Every strong foundation is built through consistency, not speed. Every true transformation is the result of relentless commitment, not temporary motivation. Most people want the results without the patience. They want the victory without the waiting. They want the reward without the discipline. But the ones who truly win, the ones who truly live with purpose, the ones who truly create a life of impact and fulfillment are the ones who understand that patience and purpose are inseparable. Patience is not about waiting for things to come to you. It's about preparing yourself for what's coming. It's about using every day to sharpen your skills, to build your character, to grow into the person capable of handling the blessings you are working toward. It's about understanding that you cannot rush the process because the process is what makes you worthy of the result. Purpose gives patience its meaning, and patience gives purpose its power. Without patience, purpose remains unfulfilled. But when you align the two, when you trust that every moment of waiting is working in your favor, when you believe that every challenge is shaping you, when you stay committed even when nothing seems to be happening, you step into a level of power that most people will never experience. Patience is not a weakness, it is a weapon. Purpose is not just a dream, it is a direction. And when you learn to master both, you become unstoppable. Strength is not just about muscles, power, dominance. It's about resilience, endurance, and the ability to stand firm when everything around you is trying to break you. It's about the fire inside of you that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how fierce the storm. Most people think strength comes from external forces, from wealth, from status, from influence. But true strength is built from within. It's forged in the moments of struggle, in the battles no one sees, in the quiet hours when you are left alone with nothing but your doubts, your fears, and your will to keep going. Inner strength is not something you are born with. It is something you develop. It is something you cultivate through every challenge, every setback, every moment where you could have given up but didn't. It's built when you push past your breaking point, when you refuse to let circumstances define you, when you choose to rise when others would fall. The strongest people are not the ones who have had an easy life. They are the ones who have faced adversity and come out stronger on the other side. They are the ones who have been knocked down, who have been underestimated, who have faced failure, heartbreak, loss, and pain, but instead of letting it destroy them, most people are looking for strength in the wrong places. They look for validation from others, thinking that approval will give them confidence. They look for success, thinking that achievement will give them self-worth. They look for comfort, thinking that an easy life will make them feel strong. But true strength does not come from comfort, it comes from discomfort. It comes from pushing yourself beyond your limits, from facing your fears head on, from doing the things that most people avoid because they are too hard, too painful, too uncertain. Strength comes from resistance. Just like muscles grow when they are torn and rebuilt, inner strength grows when you face struggles and overcome them. The problem is that most people avoid pain, and in doing so, they also avoid growth. They avoid difficult conversations, so they never learn to speak up for themselves. They avoid failure, so they never take the risks that lead to success. They avoid discomfort, so they never develop the resilience to handle life's challenges. They stay in their comfort zones, convincing themselves that they are strong, when in reality they are just avoiding anything that would test them. But strength is not about avoidance, it's about confrontation. It's about looking fear in the face and moving forward anyway. It's about standing your ground when everything in you wants to run. Strength is built in the mind before it ever shows up in the world. The way you talk to yourself, the way you handle adversity, the way you respond when things don't go your way, all of these things determine your level of inner strength. The people who crumble under pressure are not weak because they lack potential. They are weak because they never train their minds to be strong. They never develop the mental toughness to handle setbacks, to endure discomfort, to push through pain. But mental toughness is something you can build. It's a skill, not a talent. It's a choice, not a gift. And it starts with how you think. Your mind will either be your greatest weapon or your greatest enemy. It will either push you forward or hold you back. It will either convince you that you are capable or tell you that you are not enough. The strongest people are not the ones who never feel fear, doubt, or insecurity. They are the ones who refuse to let those emotions control them. They are the ones who acknowledge the fear but move forward anyway. They are the ones who recognize the doubt, but refuse to listen to it. They are the ones who understand that emotions are temporary, but discipline lasts forever. Inner strength is about mastering yourself. It's about controlling your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts control you. It's about choosing discipline over distraction, resilience over comfort, growth over stagnation. It's about holding yourself to a higher standard even when no one is watching. It's about pushing yourself harder than anyone else ever would, not because you have to, but because you demand more from yourself. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who had an easy path. They are the ones who had every reason to quit but didn't. They are the ones who kept going when no one believed in them. They are the ones who turned rejection into fuel, failure into wisdom, and pain into power. They are the ones who learn how to harness their inner strength instead of looking for external validation. They are the ones who understand that strength is not given, it is earned. It is built through struggle. It is developed through discipline. It is proven through perseverance. But most people never tap into their full strength because they underestimate themselves. They tell themselves they are not capable, not talented, not lucky enough. They look at others and assume that successful people have something they don't. But the truth is, everyone has the same potential. The only difference is who chooses to develop it, who chooses to go through the fire instead of running from it, who chooses to embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it, who chooses to push forward even when it feels impossible. Strength is not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond. It's about refusing to be a victim. It's about refusing to let circumstances define your future. It's about taking ownership of your life, your mindset, your actions. It's about understanding that no one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you strength. No one is going to give you resilience. You have to build it yourself. And the moment you realize that, the moment you stop looking for excuses, the moment you stop waiting for the right conditions, the moment you stop letting your past define your potential, that is the moment you step into your true power. That is the moment you realize that everything you need is already inside of you. You just have to harness it. Trust is the foundation of transformation. It is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without trust, every step forward feels uncertain, every decision feels like a gamble, and every obstacle feels like an impossible roadblock. But with trust, real, unwavering, unshakable trust, you can walk through storms without fear, navigate the unknown with confidence, and step into a level of transformation that most people never experience. The problem is that most people struggle with trust. They don't trust the process. They don't trust themselves. They don't trust that what they are working toward will manifest. They want to see proof before they believe. They want the outcome guaranteed before they commit. They want certainty before they take action. But transformation does not come from certainty. It comes from faith. It comes from moving forward even when you don't see the whole path. It comes from stepping into the unknown and believing that the ground will appear beneath your feet. Most people sabotage their own growth because they refuse to trust, they hesitate, they overthink, they let doubt creep in and convince them that nothing is working. They allow fear to dictate their decisions, and in doing so, they stay stuck, they stay small, they stay in the same cycle, repeating the same patterns, living the same life, wondering why nothing is changing. But transformation only happens when you let go of the need to control everything and surrender to the process. When you stop questioning whether things are working and start believing that they are. When you stop waiting for validation and start trusting that every challenge, every delay, every redirection is guiding you to exactly where you are meant to be. Trust is not passive, it's powerful. It's not about sitting back and hoping things fall into place. It's about showing up, taking action, and believing that your efforts are not in vain. It's about working toward your vision even when there's no evidence that it's coming together yet. It's about understanding that just because you don't see immediate results doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Just because the doors haven't opened yet doesn't mean they won't. Just because things don't look the way you expected doesn't mean they aren't unfolding exactly as they should. The greatest transformations happen when you trust in something bigger than yourself. When you trust that every setback is a setup for something greater. When you trust that every challenge is shaping you, every delay is protecting you, every struggle is strengthening you. Most people only trust when things are going their way, but true trust is built in the moments when nothing makes sense, when things are falling apart, when the odds are stacked against you, when everything in you wants to quit. That is when trust is tested. That is when trust is forged. That is when trust has the power to transform. Trusting yourself is just as important as trusting the process. Most people are their own worst enemies. They doubt themselves more than they believe in themselves. They question their ability, their worth, their strength. They let the opinions of others shake their confidence. They let past failures define their future. But self-trust is the foundation of success. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. If you don't trust your instincts, your vision, your ability to figure things out, you will never take the bold steps necessary to create transformation. Transformation requires risk, and risk requires trust. It requires stepping outside of your comfort zone and believing that you will land on your feet. It requires putting yourself out there, taking chances, making decisions without guarantees. It requires trusting that even if things don't go as planned, you have the resilience, the intelligence, the strength to adjust, adapt, and keep moving forward. Most people don't trust themselves because they have broken their own promises too many times. They've said they would do something and didn't follow through. They've set goals and given up when it got hard. They've made commitments and abandoned them when they didn't see immediate results. But the good news is, self-trust can be rebuilt. Every time you do what you say you're going to do, you strengthen your trust in yourself. Every time you follow through, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable, even when no one is watching, you reinforce the belief that you can count on yourself. And when you can count on yourself, there is nothing you cannot accomplish. Trusting the process and trusting yourself go hand in hand. When you align these two forces, you unlock a level of power that cannot be shaken by setbacks, failures, or external circumstances. You stop seeking reassurance from the outside world because you know deep down that everything is happening for you, not to you. You stop trying to control everything and start flowing with the process, knowing that what is meant for you will not pass you by. You stop questioning whether or not you're on the right path and start walking boldly, knowing that every step, no matter how small, no matter how uncertain, is leading you exactly where you need to go. Trust transforms your mindset. It shifts you from fear to faith, from doubt to confidence, from hesitation to decisive action. It allows you to move with certainty even in uncertain times. It allows you to stay grounded even when life throws you curveballs. It allows you to keep going even when the finish line feels far away. Trust transforms your relationships. When you trust yourself, you stop seeking validation from others. You stop allowing toxic people to dictate your worth. You stop holding on to relationships that are not aligned with your growth. You stop fearing rejection because you know that what is meant for you will stay and what is not meant for you will leave to make space for something better. Trust transforms your ability to handle challenges. When you truly trust, setbacks don't shake you, they strengthen you. Failures don't discourage you, they fuel you. Delays don't frustrate you, they remind you that timing is everything. You no longer let obstacles break you down because you know that every challenge is preparing you for something greater. Trust transforms your success. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never face failure, rejection, or adversity. They are the ones who kept going despite all of it. They are the ones who trusted the vision, even when no one else could see it. They are the ones who believed in themselves when the world doubted them. They are the ones who took risks, bet on themselves, and kept moving forward no matter what. But trust is not something you turn on and off. It's something you build every single day. It's something you choose even when it's hard. It's something you lean into even when fear tries to pull you away. It's something you commit to even when everything in you wants to retreat. And the moment you truly embrace trust in yourself, trust in the process, trust in the timing of your life, that is the moment everything begins to shift. That is the moment transformation begins. That is the moment you step into a level of power, confidence, and certainty that nothing and no one can take away from you. Everything we've talked about today, silence, patience, trust, mastering your emotions, letting actions speak louder, choosing faith over frustration, it all comes down to one thing: surrendering control and allowing transformation to unfold. Too often we block our own blessings by speaking against what is already in motion. We allow doubt, negativity, and fear to spill from our lips before the breakthrough even has a chance to arrive. But when you learn to quiet your mind, discipline your tongue, and move with trust instead of resistance, you step into a level of transformation that is beyond anything you can imagine. The most powerful shifts in your life won't happen when you're shouting for them. They'll happen in the stillness, in the discipline, in the moments where you choose to trust instead of complain, to listen instead of argue, to walk forward instead of questioning every step. This is not about doing nothing, it's about doing the right things. It's about aligning yourself with the flow instead of fighting against it. It's about removing distractions, silencing the noise, and allowing clarity, wisdom, and divine timing to do what they are meant to do. Transformation is already happening in your life. It's in motion, it's working, it's unfolding, even if you can't see it yet. Your job is not to question it, not to sabotage it, not to slow it down with doubt or negativity. Your job is to align yourself, to be ready to move when the time is right, and most importantly, to stay quiet when silence is the most powerful tool you have. Because when you do that, when you truly learn to keep your mouth shut, hold your faith, and watch, you will witness the undeniable, unstoppable, and unimaginable transformation that God has been preparing for you all along.